To walk in a champion's footstep means putting yourself in harm's way. The journey of a fighter is just that, the journey. Sometimes the destiny that all fighters crave is just one moment. The moment you become a champion. To have your name written in gold doesn't go unnoticed, and for these two men it means everything. Tonight, as Primetime returns to you from the modern day Coliseum, former champions will clash as they continue on the road back to the championship. It is known that if you can control where the fight takes place, you will be in control. And those words could not be more fitting than one of the most knowledgeable men in the community today, BFAP DirtyDave. Known for making the fight drag out over a long period of time is what Dave is known for. He forces you to fight his fight and doesn't let off the gas. It's been a while since I've held gold. I'm so close. I just need this one win and I can fight for what's really mine. But for Dirty Dave has a roadblock in the form of the other former champion, EK Donner. The man who shocked the league and dethroned one of the most popular fighters in the community today. To be the best, you have to be elite. And to be a king, you must have held gold. Donner has both achievements, and tonight it's his time to prove it. I lost my championship, but that doesn't mean I can't hold it once again. Now that I've had a taste, I want it all. But both of these competitors are not settled for former. When they look at their names in gold, it reads former champion. These two men are not content on being just that, former champions. They need to be the current champion, and they're both in each other's ways. So, with all that being said, competitors, fans, and the community of Primetime, we welcome you back to the home of mixed martial arts as we begin the road to the championship. Welcome to Primetime.
Welcome back to Primetime on this beautiful Friday night. Doc, it is so great to be here finally back in the booth with yourself. How are you doing?
I am doing fantastic. It's lovely to be back in the booth with you as well. Joining us tonight is the Mighty Reaper, who introduced me after I said the introduction. He also wrote the introduction, so please, for the love of God, give him credit for that. Also, we have got Mr. Paps on here tonight. There we are, the words. You got a stat card from top to bottom. Dirty Dave versus Donner. As you saw in that graphic just before here, Paps, Dave has chose Conor McGregor. EK Donner has chose Volkanovski. What in the world is going on?
I don't know. That's a very opposite picks. Dave's known as the wrestler. Donner is known as the striker. And I don't know if this is Dave like ego picking or, you know what I mean, he's just trying to like show he can strike with some of the best strikers in the game. I'm just gonna say it's probably an ego pick. He thinks he can strike with Donner. That'd be my opinion here.
Well, Reaper, under our current system of fighter bans, it means the higher rated fighter gets a ban, the lower rated fighter gets first pick. In this case, Dave was the higher rated, I believe, and he may have banned Max Holloway, not expecting Donner to pick a Volkanovski. Instead, though, he did, and that's only really left Dave with probably one real pick that he sees as meta, which is Conor McGregor, which just shows how you can play your cards when you look at that system. When you look at fighter bans and who gets first pick, who gets second pick, and how that all molds together here.
That's a great point.
Yeah, it really is, Pabs, you know, and as Doc was saying, it's such a strategic thing, right? You have to really think about what you're doing when you get into these fights, especially like at these lower weights. You know, you have your banning weights, you have your hashtag ban Yans. But featherweight, there's so many fighters in that one weight class. Like, you think if you ban a Max Holloway, right, that's a great ban, but you have an updated Volkanovski, and then you also have the prime Conor McGregor, Pabs, you know. So in this weight class, at least, you're going to get that kind of like striker's delight of picks.
I think it was kind of a smart play from Donner, if that was the case, where Dave was higher rated, to take the Volk pick. That'd probably be a tougher fight for Donner if Dave was to go Volk rather than Conor. there's no turning takedowns with Connor. So I think Dave's going to be forced to strike. And we all know updated Volk stats are insane on the feet. I mean, his footwork was 99 base now. It's crazy. 99 switch stance, 99 footwork. I think 96 punch speed. He's something else on the feet now.
And that is our main event of the evening. A quick rundown by all three of us. If we look further down the card, though, you have the co-main of Ned versus STK Cole. That is going to be a one hell of a fight. Both stand up. People who understand it in every aspect will come at you and not want to take a step back. As you move down, you have the grappler who's notorious for his takedown, STK Storm. Lilo just behind that. NM Liam making his return against Mr. Kruger. That's in the welterweight division. That's going to be an interesting time to see. You do also have the head crew line of Raw Soul. This man was making waves recently, coming up through the rankings, making himself known. Last time out, we did see him suffer a loss against Mr. Amazon, but it was an interesting time. He used Damian Maya, shot a lot of takedown, did have some success, not all the way around, so maybe against Belonte he can figure out a new way. That's going to be in the lightweight division. A quick correction to our card, it should be noted. COJ versus LW Hammer has been scrapped. Instead now Theo J will be fighting Clover. Both Hammer and Blink may have gone up that mighty tree of destiny. It's quite possible they end up having to scrap themselves and are too badly injured to actually come down from it, and we've sent some people up there, nobody can find them, so who's particularly sure? Anyhow, with that being said though, perhaps we're going to go straight into our first fight of this evening. A2 Active versus Tad in the featherweight division.
I love watching Tad compete, man. He always throws he's got so much crazy combinations, and he'll take some crazy risk in some of these elite fights. You usually don't see competitors take it, whether it be nerves or they don't want to get flash KO'd. But Tad, he's somebody who tends to take those crazy risks. But we'll see how he fights this round. As you can see, he's hovering over Pettis already, so we might see some flashy kick combinations coming out from Tadpole.
Yeah, and Tadpole is one of those guys that lives by the sword and dies by the sword. You know, he wants those highlight primetime knockouts. And when I was asking Tad to be a late replacement, I barely was able to write the text doc before Tad had already wrote back yes.
Well, that is Tad. He's always desperate to compete, and he has been on the PS side, has a couple issues with that. I think he's now sold it again, so now he's back on the expired side looking to make waves. So this is a good opportunity for him to re-establish himself. He's already pretty established within the community. He's done a fantastic job. The Tadpole special does exist with Pettis. The miss head kick into that spinning round count, spinning heel kick is very effective. A2 Active, though, very patient in that boxing, and if you'll find someone like Tadpole here, perhaps that's probably what you want to be doing. Pettis is very kickboxing, so is Tad's entire style, so if you can keep it clean, keep it simple with the boxing and really time Tadpole on any of the shots he takes, you can probably find an opening here.
I find when you fight Pettis, some of the best ways to fight him is a lot of footwork in and out. Be patient, don't chase him down, and don't get intercepted by those kicks. And I think A2 Active is actually having a pretty smart game plan here, working the body early of Pettis.
Yeah, he really is, but the one thing I've noticed about Dustin Poirier here at the featherweight division is that stamina goes quick, Doc, right? He's not like that updated lightweight version, that granite chin, that ultimate stamina, just powerhouse block breaking craziness. His stamina will go when you whiff. He's almost like the Conor McGregor of the lightweight. You know that kind of way, Doc?
Yeah, it definitely does seem it. Lovely counter hook there. Digs down to the body. Head kick does get blocked. Just not. Poirier still stunned. That was a long time to be stunned. Tadpole couldn't be able to get any capitalization. Ducks under lead hook. No stun? What in the world? And goes back just to having a normal fight, perhaps.
That was, I don't know how he didn't get rocked, but I guess. I think A2 Active did have a low short-term stamina off the duck, to be fair, but Tadpole is still throwing all these crazy. It's so entertaining to watch Tadpole fight.
Yeah, Tad doesn't know any other way to fight other than this. It's that kind of highlighted nature that he holds with himself, Doc, right? He knows he possesses the talent to get these highlight reel knockouts, and even being the first fight on the card, if he was to get one of those highlight reel knockouts, that is going to set the whole card up to just outperform Tad.
Yeah, it really is. Like, it's always every fight we ever have on either both the fight nights and the pay-per-views always seem to like one up themselves. So if you already set a high standard, it's just going to get higher and higher and higher, and that's kind of what the word primetime guarantee have always been about. It's just each fight doing it. Both of these having a brawl and a half Poirier trying to land, but it's looking like Pettis, even in the boxing department now, he's starting to get ahead. It's looking like Tadpole's made his reads, and now he's starting to execute on them with the last minute left in the first.
Yeah, he's doing a lot better with the boxing, but Poirier did get a couple sidesteps early in the round, and if he can manage to get one of those sidestep counters, he can change the.
Seems like Poirier's counters are just slightly out of time. You saw that body kick as he was stunned, and he's either out of range or just the wrong counter at the wrong time. Sometimes it's the lead hook when it should be the right hook. It's just those small little bits of Reaper that are really giving Poirier the issues here.
Yeah, and now Tad is the one moving forward. Tad sees maybe a chink in the armor of A2 Active, because when A2 Active was going forward, he was having great success with the jab. He was able to get the block of Tadpole low. He was forcing Tadpole to throw some flashy things, maybe just to, create some space. But the second that A2 Active missed Pabst, Tad was on him. He was stuck to him like glue. He didn't give him a minute to breathe. He literally pushed him from one side of the octagon to the other with forward moving pressure.
Well, you do typically see this with most fights here, is when someone's getting pressured, they like that defense nature. Unless the fighter is specifically of a defensive stance who likes to play on the back foot. For example, T-Sol, who would do a lot of his offense by playing a defensive nature, maybe in competitor will also do this. But both, I would say, Active and Tadpole are... They're not counter fighters. They're not looking to play off that back foot. They're looking to play aggressive to then really counter.
Oh,
there you go. Now digging down to the body, goes up top as well. The stun only just narrowly avoiding doubles and the uppercut, elbows and hooks coming back. The lead body shot nearly caused difficulty. A three-piece also being thrown here, and it's just Tadpole trying to find a chink in any of the armor he can. You mentioned he saw a hole early on, Reaper, but he's struggling to re-find it now.
Yeah, he's really once again, have to say, Pabs is an amazing analyst, because he spotted this before I did. A2 Active is using side steps beautifully now when he realizes Tad is going for that double jab. He's using beautiful side steps, and it's actually causing Anthony Pettis to use more of his stamina because of the whiff. Even though it is a jab, it's a double jab. And he just needs to keep those side steps going. But Tad is doing such a great job of fighting off the back foot right now, Pabs, that he's actually comfortable where he is. He's only circling to the outside of his fighter, so he's not really circling into that power. And that's very smart from Tad.
Tad's doing a really good job of mixing up his shot selection.
Oh my God.
What happened? I was about to mention it was just a case of the jabs were working, the strikes were working. Poirier had to be careful about the block, and then suddenly, I'm not quite sure. I know the jab straight hit him through the block.
Yeah, that's
the lead hook.
One of those fence track knockdowns, man. You can just, that's so unlucky when that happens in this game, when you get dropped by the fence.
And he drops, and then the lead hook clips him. Yeah,
I was just talking about how good Tad was doing.
Commentary curse there. That is commentary curse through and through. The first round looked very close between the two of them. Very effective overall, but I don't know. It just seemed like it was all going well for Tadpole one moment. Like I'm looking at the stats now. He was winning significant strikes as well as stuns, and then suddenly he just gets knocked out. It's definitely in
like what I was just saying. Like, he was doing so good. He was mixing up his shots so well. He had Active blocking low, blocking high, mixing them up. And as soon as I said he was doing good, he got double drop KO'd. That's the thing, when you get dropped by that fence sometime, those follow-up punches will track and get the flash KO, and that was just what happened there, unfortunately.
Tad looked great, but you have to give it up to A2 Active as well, because he stayed on Tad when he had him hurt. And he finished the fight, and that's why we love this game. That's why we love this game of mixed martial arts, because the fight can change at the drop of a dime. And A2 Active, good win tonight. It's very unfortunate for Tad. I know Tad will be kicking himself about that. And Tad was a late replacement as well, so we appreciate Tad for that, of course.
Yeah, he did a fantastic job there. Both of them playing a fantastic fight, putting on a performance to start off with. Up next, we are going to have TM Perp versus the Pug VS here. This time around, we're going to be middleweight. This is going to be probably be one of Pug's. I think Pug is probably hoping to win this fight. I know he's been calling out Mr. Humble a bunch, so you got to imagine if he's looking to fight Mr. Humbledink, who's up in those high rankings there, he's got to get a couple wins on his belt, and this is the place to start.
Yeah, definitely. it's definitely going to be a tough fight for both men. You know, you have TM Purp, the Mafia Purp, I believe that stands for, and he's one of those guys that is almost like Tad. He loves his flashy movement, he loves his flashy KOs. And then you have the Pug VS, which stands for Vicious Strikers. It is a new camp on the scene created by Josh, who is one of Primetime's own here. So he's doing well building that camp. He has some great players, and Pug is a great pickup. And we're going to see tonight what Pug can do.
We will do indeed. Part of that TM camp, not typically around much these days, but he has been around since the beginning of the PlayStation era. Very effective in all aspects, well known. Pug is the same. Xbox originally loves his jab straight. It's a bit like Misty Mac in nose reactions. Did have difficulty early on in his career coming forward, but as the time has gone on, he's learnt to be able to come forward and use that pressure style and really use it. So with that, we're going to